come with me on a journey. But I know I'm running late. So there we go. Oh my gosh, this doesn't even help me. Okay. What is this? I'm sorry, folks. I am just having a heck of a time here today. Tech issues. This is just not working. All right, let me see if I can make this work. Fingers crossed, folks. If not, we'll just have a fireside chat, but I didn't want to. Let's see. Opportunity here to get YouTube and Facebook chat up. Give me just a second, folks. I don't know why. Oh, yes, I'm in. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Okay. I'm actually almost ready to go here. I just want to say hello, William, Hunter, Gene, Kevin. Cordovan. Oh, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, that was indeed me. All right. How is Alchemist going? It is coming along. I have been hearing them discuss various aspects of it. It is sounding very cool. All right, here we go. I know, right? Yeah. Wait a second. Fine, Samus. Of course you'd go there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream here on twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/Dungeons and Dragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. I'm Cordovan, the community manager for DDO, and man, am I busy. We got a lot going on, but we got some pretty fun stuff happening in DDO as well, so I'm here today to talk a little bit about it, and then in a little bit I'm going to head on to Orion and do some questing in Sharn. Hope you've been digging Sharn. We have got our second patch that went out this week. That would be Update 42, Patch 2. Not today, but the day prior, on June 11th, we added the Wish for Memories to the DDO store. I'm going to explain how to do that, how to use that in just a second. I had someone suggest to me yesterday, both inside and outside of the office, hey, just in case people are confused about what it is and how it works, you want to show it off in the live stream? And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a plan. And then I had people on the Twitter and stuff say, can you, like, show it off in the live stream this week? And I was like, done. So we're going to be doing that here in a little bit. Then I'm going to be just going on to a regular play character, doing a little questing on Sharn. So that's probably one of the things happening in the patch from yesterday. The other thing, and probably frankly, the reason we have the patch, is that we're doing some difficulty adjustment work on Too Hot to Handle. That's the new Sharn raid on Legendary. I'm not going to go through all the release notes on it, but suffice it to say, the main goal of this was to maybe scale down some of the numbers just a little bit, but keep the puzzles and mechanics in place. So, we would love to hear your feedback as to how this goes. We are going to be keeping a close eye on completion rates and see how things go. We want it to be tough, but we don't want it to be impossible. So let's see if we can find that right balance, shall we? I can tell you that as of the chart I looked at this morning, which I believe had been updated I was trying to do a conversion from GMT, so I hope I'm correct, about 6 hours ago. I still don't see any Legendary Elite completions on any of the worlds. So, I do, however, see a post in the forum say that it's is less difficult. I guess we'll just have to see what happens there, huh? I did see a couple. I think if I was just going into my head, I didn't have time to pull up the actual yesterday's data to compare, but just off the top of my head, I think I saw one hard completion on one world and one hard completion on a different world from overnight, and that would have been since that. But it seems, I mean, if we had people kind of banging our heads on it or off it, and we scaled it back to the way that they could complete, I thought we might have seen another couple of hard completions there, but I don't know. Let me just get on a quick outfit. Alright, there we go. So, I just quick created a level 20 kind of admin character to show you how the Wish for Memories works
Through
here.
all your accomplishments, you have transcended the title of hero.
Just kind of ignore some of that other stuff here. I'm going to head into the Hall of Heroes and then call up quick a Wish for Memories and kind of quick show you just how it's going to work. The basic idea of the Wish for Memories is it allows you to collect a racial past life from a race other than the one you played. So let me head into... My terminology is terrible today. The Reincarnation Grove. That's where I'm headed. Alright, I will, while I'm getting ready and calling up a few things, let me take a look at chat, make sure I'm up to date on that, and also call up a quick thing that I'm going to need to make this process go more smoothly. Okay, there we go. Why don't I just pick this one? Well, actually, that might be difficult. Why don't I pick this one? Okay. Just in case this particular account doesn't have that thing unlocked, I'm going to do that thing. All right. So, here is a Wish for Dwarven Memories. This was purchased. It can be available in the DDO store right now. I believe there are other plans for it as well. Bound to account, just per usual stuff. Now, the way it'll work in the DDO store, and the reason I'm a little hesitant to just show it to you, is I'm on a weird admin character right now, so I'm not sure that it's going to show, but let me give it a shot. Nope. New. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So, when you go to the DDO store, it'll let you basically pick which of the available races to you that you want to get. Now, you can only use this for races that you have. So if you don't yet, say, have Gnome or something like that, then it will not display for you. But you'll get the item in your inventory here. Your next racial reincarnation will give you a Dwarven past life instead of a past life for your current race. Can only be used on yourself. And let me just look at the Heart of Blood while I'm at it. Alright. Do it the old-fashioned way. So then you're going to speak to the Life Shaper here. Go through the basic reincarnation workflow. You'll place your chosen Heart of Wood below, in this case, a Heart of Blood. And then I believe, how's this work? Yep, there you go. You consume the potion, and you'll see Memories of Dwarven Kind. Your next racial reincarnation will award you a Dwarven past life instead of the past life for your current race. So, in this particular case, I should be, there we go, a dwarf in a past life, despite not looking very dwarf-like at the moment. I think you'll agree. And my name was... I'm ready to reincarnate. Basically, when you log out, reincarnate. And I guess I could go through the flow if we need to, but regardless, got the thing. So, yeah, let me be a completionist here. I will show you. I'll get this done. Doesn't matter what feats I take, right? As a matter of fact, that is exactly what we did, Samus. We were like, you know, he always complains about having to do that one racial life, so why don't we make a thing just for him?
Striking your ship, come flooding back.
Past lives. Racial past lives. And hey, there we are. It says I was a dwarf in a past life. There you go. We're done. And that is how the Wish for Memories works. Any idea when we'll get a 64-bit client? No. Nothing on the timeline. It's something that we would love to do, however, so we'll see how that goes. Can you suggest another Thunderwood 63? Since we have the mechanics to allow a re-roll on loot still in the chest, can we make each roll give an increased chance for named items? Astral shards can only be purchased or obtained through selling gear. We are actually looking into some things to increase the, perhaps the chance to increase named items in various ways. So stay tuned. It won't work like that, though. Difficulty adjustment. Nice euphemism for nerfing. Depends on what side of the argument you're on here on Too Hot to Handle. So... Oh, I got logged into the wrong account. Great. All right. I'm an idiot. So on DD, maybe it's just me talking because I've been a long-standing DDO player. But I would challenge just about any MMO's rating group, raiders to DDO's raiders on a technical proficiency level. And I'm going to say that DDO's raiders can rock it like few others. So, in my 13 years of experience here, the fact that DDO's raiding community has yet to accomplish an elite completion on the new raid says something. So yes, I think it's not really a nerf per se, I don't think. But it is, however, scaling it back a little bit, trying to open it up to a few people who otherwise would struggle perhaps on Legendary Normal. Just kind of scale back a little bit of the numbers there. There is a post on the forums, which maybe some folks have seen, which is like, you nerfed it, now it's just a cakewalk. It's like, okay. I mean, I appreciate that. The numbers are a little higher than they were yesterday on Normal. There's a couple more completions on hard and nothing more on Elite, so as long as the data I'm looking at is up to date, I don't think it's proven to be a cakewalk yet. If it is, cakewalk it. Yeah. Welcome.
Hello.
I hear you, Bruce. It's no problem. So no ETA on the 64-bit client. If we do get to actively work on it and make progression towards it, we'll let you know. But at this point, it's just something we would like to do. Okay. Is there raid PvP? That would be awesome. By proxy, there actually sort of is. If you go into the PvP zones, and you can do 6v6 like capture the flag and deathmatch. So, if you are looking for that experience, it's actually really fun if you get like 12 guildies together and make that happen. It's real cool. I'd recommend it if you're like, really? I didn't know that existed. Yes, and you might want to check it out. It's actually pretty fun. Am I running heroics? That is a great question. Unfortunately, on Orion here, I find myself at an in-between zone where I'm level 21. So I'm going to get my posterior kicked if I try to go in on Legendary. But it might be said cakewalk on heroic. So let's perhaps see if I can enter on Heroic Elite, even though it's going to nuke everyone's XP. Ha ha ha. No, I don't even know what I was saying. See, that's what happens. Anyway. Even though it'll nuke their XP, I think I need to go in on Heroic. Is everyone able to enter the Masterminds of Sharn content on Heroic? If not, let me know. Alright, let me get back to the questions here. That's a cool idea, Secular Squirrel. I don't know that, it's a cool idea. I don't know. Well, I mean, you don't have to use the Wish for Memories. That's the thing, Amber Scion. It's really just kind of an optional thing for you. If you're like, hey, I want to check it out. perhaps, you know, for whatever reason you choose to go that route, it's an option for you. All right, let me head over to Facebook. How long have I been playing? Me personally, I started playing in June of 2006. On, I believe, yeah, on the character you saw last week on the show. Do we one day plan to put Vorpal in Caneth crafting? You know, that's a great question. I really don't think that there's maybe any particular passion against putting it in or anything like that. I just don't really see us working on Caneth crafting in the short term. And who knows what'll happen long term, of course, right? But I think the days of Vorpal being, you know, something that for balance reasons maybe made sense to not have in Caneth crafting, or to otherwise reserve it as, like, say, a named item effect. I think those days are perhaps behind us. But again, you know, it's kind of up to the team here, right? So I could be wrong.
Then speak to Lucy and Vaughn.
But I hear you.
Her employer wants you to pass along some information about the Stormreach beacon.
So I'm very well experienced. Yep, I am a total pro. When I die, the world shakes. People are like, "Oh my gosh, like, did you hear that? Did you see that Cordovan died on the live stream this week?" Yeah, that's what it's like when you're as good as I am. But no, I am proof positive that you can both play a game for a long time and be terrible at it. Although I'm not terrible. I consider myself squarely, slightly above mediocre. And sometimes, occasionally, I pull out a win. Yeah. Can we bring back guild slots on things? I'm going to probably say, could we? Maybe. Will we? I really can't see us ever doing that. That old guild augment slot system with, like, tiny to large augments or what have you, I think is perhaps a classic design that we would probably not utilize were we to create something new. Oh, I got 2 daggers, and what am I trying to do here? Oh, it's assassinate. Never mind. Sorry. I haven't played a rogue in quite some time. I really want to... Or a rogue, like an assassin, rather, in quite some time. I probably should swap it out, but... If you TR and rerun the same class more than once, do you get more past life enhancements from the same class or race? Correct. They stack up to 3. Bring back the leveling sigils. I mean, that's sneak attack damage, though. Not entirely terrible. Of course, I'm tearing through it on heroic, so. But still, the numbers don't lie. Yes, Isabet's dress. That's something we have. Let's see, where am I going? What am I doing? Where am I? Find another route to the terrace. I think we actually got the wrong way here. There we are.
The contraption rumbles to life, and then promptly explodes.
Nice.
It's probably not supposed to do that.
Yep. So Austin Burt brings up the pen and paper influenced anti-paladin idea. That's something that, you know, I know has come up kind of just like on internal discussions about, you know, classes and things like that, options, you know, that maybe could be possible in the future, things like that. I don't know, there's some kind of specific challenges, I think, to doing something like an anti-paladin per se. But that's not to say we couldn't probably figure something out if we set our mind to it, you know? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's a cool idea, though. I'm not quite sure how we'd make it work. Because we don't do evil. And we're not going to. But an anti-paladin could not necessarily be evil. I mean, at their heart, they might just be, I don't know. There's a bunch of different options, right? You know, like in many ways, you know, the Lord of Blades followers, you know, are very lawful, and they are willing to do some pretty extreme things to achieve their goals if they need to, I think. That doesn't necessarily make them evil, although I believe what Lord of Blades is lawful evil, but still, you know, that kind of thing, you know, someone who's dedicated to a cause could perhaps be some kind of anti-paladin if the cause was specifically tailored to a situation where we didn't offer evil alignment in the game.
Rubble blocks the elevator shaft, as well as the nearby door. You won't be getting up to the terrace this way.
Hey, Titan. No news on 4K scaling. I would imagine that the engineering work involved might make sense. Were we to do kind of wider launcher work, perhaps something like that 64-bit or something like that. It's something we're aware of and we would like to do eventually. It's, as with many things, it's always a matter of prioritization and resources. Oh, chaotic neutral. Okay, yeah. People are correcting me, as they should, on the Lord of Blades, who is actually chaotic neutral, not lawful evil. Which is surprising to me. Chaotic? He's about as lawful as they come, isn't he? I always thought so. Oh, hey, I'm a rogue. Yay! I can unlock, I can hit a pressure plate on Epic, even if I still can't spot it. Oh, Isabet's dress. Yeah. I am going to have to ask the artist who put together Isabet whether that was done as, say, directly painted onto an NPC, or if that might be something that we could offer
The way up to the terrace is just ahead.
as an option.
But one
Which
final
I agree.
group
I
of
think people
attackers
would be
blocks your path.
down for that. So.
You hear a piercing call from the direction of the terrace. The beast descends the ramp, one unlike anything you've seen before.
But I will have to follow up on that, as I don't actually know how that
The
was put
assault on
together.
the tower
It would
seems
not
to have
surprise me, unfortunately, to hear that it might have been done
learn what became
as
of
a
Lucy
kind of a
Vaughn.
direct paint, so to speak, rather than something that we could turn into an item.
The figure on the sky coach ahead
Am I
matches
anxious for the
description of
coming of
Lucy Vaughn.
Baldur's Gate
He
3?
seems unruffled by the attack.
We don't. It's not appropriate for me to comment on the official live stream about other games and that sort of thing. I think we're all a bunch of D&D nerds here, and so surely we all have opinions on it, right? I'm excited, just like all this stuff. E3. I've said this before, and in a generic way, I'll say it again. E3 is my Super Bowl. It is my Super Bowl. They make E3 for me. I have been in heaven the last 3 to 4 days with all the news and announcements and things like that. Exciting times, as always. We do great stuff. Video
I have a message
games!
for you.
Yep.
Says Vaughn.
The beacon belongs to me now. I paid the Boromar clan good money to get it, after all. Don't think for a moment that you can challenge me in my city. You're just setting yourself up for a fall.
Vaughn's companion makes a gesture, and the terrace collapses beneath you.
Per usual, there's things I like, things I personally am less into, things I would have done different, etc., etc. But that's just armchair quarterbacking on my end, and not worthy of stream talk. But I saw a lot that I thought was really exciting. I assume others did too.
You step into Zelith Prospire's tidy office. The Inquisitive calls out to you. Step inside, quickly. There are eyes everywhere.
Oh, no, anti-paladins should be chaotic neutral in a non-evil campaign. Yeah, absolutely. Or even, chaotic good or something like that, right? It would be about proper motivation and consistency of character in a way that could be done with the sort of setup that we want to use. I like that idea a lot, Elizabeth. Yep. Oh, hey, since I'm saying hello to you on Facebook, that reminds me, I'm going to Gen Con. Yep, I am going to Gen Con this year. So how cool is that?
Zelith pulls a
The
switch
reason
and
it's
nods
cool,
to
not
the
because
back
I'm
of the
going to Gen
building.
Con, although I'm
You hear the
excited,
scrape of stone
is
on
because
stone as the
we're
concealed
going to be
back
doing
door
it. I'm
slides
going
open.
on a trip on behalf of Standing Stone Games here. So, Friday evening, we will have our usual either official or unofficial Friday night gathering for buffs, and this year it's more on the official side. And so stay tuned. Hopefully in the next week or two I'll be able to get you a little bit more information about the where and etc. etc. But I can tell you the typical when, which is Friday evening, usually around 7 to 10 p.m., 8 to 11, something like that. Usually basically what happens is the exhibit all closes, everyone pours out of the convention, finds each other, texts each other like mad people, loses each other in crowds, etc., etc. And then eventually make their way over to a place to eat and hang out and socialize for at least a couple hours. Usually there are some folks who have Gen Con related things that perhaps are scheduled for Friday night. So we do try to not monopolize people's time too much. But we always do at least a couple hours of, hey, if you play DDO, we would love to have you here. And so that'll be happening again this year. I'm really excited. I know, I believe Sev is going to be going along as well. And I believe for the Friday night thing,
wide open and its chairs are empty.
we have got two other guests. One of them being Linabelle,
Looks like the customer
the other being Flimsy
The
Firewood.
incriminating information in this ledger would fetch a
So
pretty price on the black
that's
market.
cool.
You wonder why the murderer
That's going to be a
would
lot of
leave
fun.
behind.
So if you are able
find
to,
the
you don't have to have a
crossbow
Gen Con
bolt
badge to
still
go.
lodged
It's
in the
just
victim's side.
in downtown
Also
Indianapolis
noticed
on a
some
Friday
marks
evening
on
that
the
happens
ground.
to coincide
A
with Gen
chest
Con.
full of coins was left here locked and untouched.
We'd love to have
This
you.
was
It is
no
going to,
robbery.
I almost
You can tell
guarantee,
that there's more
I
to
don't have a
this
place
than
locked
meets
in
the
yet,
eye.
but I
Searching the gambling hall raised more
99.8% guarantee
questions
it's
about the
unfortunately going to be
murders
21
than
plus.
As you turn to
That is
leave,
the
there are
reality
figures clamoring outside the building.
I have found
Strike down the
in
last
my
of this
attempts
group
to
of
try to
daft
do this
thugs
and organize
check
this
to make
year
sure
after
there are
year.
no more nearby.
That the
Don't tell me
best
you
way
go
to
where you
handle, like,
came.
say, maybe a group of families, moms and dads and kids that are at Gen Con who want to say hello to someone from DDO, the best way to do that is get in touch with me ahead of time, and we'll make sure that we can swing by and say hello to you if we can. And I have yet to see one, well, I don't know if I could say that for sure, but I have almost never not made that happen. So. But for those of you who are 21 plus, we're going to have a good time. This is a chance to really, you know, when they say, man, if I could just sit down and ask you about the thing and kind of hear what you're actually like and what you're actually thinking, this is your chance. It's fun times. Last year we mentioned the whole Sharn thing, and then we also announced our desire to do Isle of Dread in the future, although that ended up perhaps getting shifted around a little bit in favor of Keep on the Borderlands and a few other things. But it's still on the docket.
You push
And
open
who
the door to
knows,
the
I think
apartment.
I already
The
know what we might
surprisingly
be talking about
well-decorated
this
rooms
time
show
around,
signs of a
but we'll
struggle.
kind of have to see.
Your
And then
stomach
there's usually a
clenches
few
in
other things that people
anticipation
get out of
as you near
people.
the crime scene.
Trust me, a Sati Chev is a good... a chatty Sev is a fun time.
Felon must have spent his recent winnings digging
I love it.
himself out of debt. Imagine
Typically, it's
meeting
buy your
your
own
end
food
right after getting
and
yourself
beverages.
clear. At
And
least
we
you died
offer
in
the
black.
space,
Felon
whatever
in
kind of
just
DDO
one
swag we
gig,
can manage
cleaning up
to
on a
bring with
match
us.
in an underground fighting room
And
down in the cogs.
some other cool stuff.
After examining the corpse, you can see that he was killed by a poisoned crossbow bolt. His last gambling ticket lies just out of reach. Despite clear attempts to make this look like a break-in, all of Felon's valuables are still
anyway,
in their proper places.
There we go.
As you mull this over, you hear voices from the direction of the front door. You manage to make it past the Dask thugs blocking your way. The Dask thugs let you pass, thanks to your quick tongue and winning personality. You've learned all you can about these first two crimes. You head back to the Wolf Gate, where Zeleth awaits your results.
Okay, let me just get to the questions here.
Zeleth unlocks the gate, revealing a small lane that burrows deeper into the heart of Cog's Gate.
Are there still used RPG game book vendors at Gen Con? There are indeed. If anything, I think it's doubled down on a lot of the kind of exhibit hall stuff. The exhibit hall's pretty strong at Gen Con. I've always had a pretty good time there. Which Gen Con? Yes, Gen Con Indianapolis. I guess they're... Now we live in an era where these things are constantly happening, right? But, yeah. But yes, Gen Con, it's Indianapolis, I believe, August 1st through the 4th. But like I said, we're there for Gen Con because of the audience and the people, the DDO peeps, the Lord of the Rings online peeps. This isn't just a DDO thing. If you play Lotro, we want you to stop by as well. And frankly, if you just are hanging out with your friends and you want them to come along, that's probably fine too. I will... We do have a space limit, you know, because it is a physical location.
A different body, but the same song. A
But
crossbow bolt dipped in poison.
I believe that number is like
covered in
80.
slashes.
That is what about what I'm looking for. 50 to 100 is typically what I'm telling the
shattered
peeps
pin bearing
from which I am
volcanotechnic
searching.
symbol. A closer look
And
at
that
the keg
that
reveals
falls
a
in line
hidden
with pretty much what we always do.
filled
We've been doing for
smuggled
what, a
goods.
decade plus now.
The murderer
A few
could
years have been
emptied the
bigger than
pawn
others,
shop,
but
and yet only Mord's life was taken. Armed with your findings, you wonder, what connects all these gruesome crimes?
cool, Titan.
Some
Yeah,
small
yeah,
packages lie in
sports
the
cars.
cauldron. No doubt they were hidden there so they could be fenced on the black market later. The last of the heavily armed...
Yes, the Gen
captains
Con exhibit hall will crit your
Another
wallet
hour
like
stretches
nothing
before
else.
you.
I
The
assure
more
you.
learn about the victims, the more
Oh no,
questions you
I'm just
have.
not going to buy anything.
You can only
Just
hope that
don't
Walter's
even
close
expect
by
that to
holds
be
the
a possibility.
answer you've been seeking.
If you can't even, if you don't even have $5 to your name, don't torture yourself. Don't go into the Gen Con exhibit hall. It'll kill you.
A tiefling stands before you with a face you remember from
Well,
your
I
recent
remember.
adventures.
So the year I
Despite
really
the shock of
remember,
meeting him
Samus,
again,
the year
I
where
hope that
you and
Zulk is
Lessa
willing to
did
answer your
the
questions
official
without
Gen Con
Zulk
cocktail
steps
hour
through a dimension
podcast,
door,
and that
his
was
face
a
glowing with the
fabulous
smug
time.
triumph of a
That
man
was
who
a
thinks he's won,
fantastical
though
time.
you're too busy dealing with his troll bodyguard to notice.
But that was a smaller
The
year, if I
troll
recall, as well.
topples.
In
Yet
terms of,
another
you know, some
casualty
years
of
more
this
people can
bloody
go,
night.
some than others,
Now,
and
to
you know,
meet
hey,
up
that's
with
just
Zealot.
how it goes. This year, I think, should be not bad. I think, you know, for what we do, I don't think like an official E3 presence really makes any sense at all for us. But I'm down for free E3 tickets. That would be fun. Yeah. Having some, I am having network issues here today, so I think that's what we're seeing on stream. So because right now
not just you,
I've
we
got
all
my
are.
son with me full time, and I've just been real busy every day this week and weekend and all that sort of thing. I've been doing
Zealot
just
shakes
constant
her head.
stuff.
The weight of her
So I have
brother's
not
betrayal
had
settling
time to
over
just
her
sit
like
and
the
watch
dirt
the
that falls
E3
in the
press
streets from
conferences like
above.
I
But you've got
typically
a job
try to do.
finish.
But
The
I've
crime
caught
scene
all
was
the
in
news
an alley, so
of interest to me that I think, and that's exciting. And I watched, you know, a metric ton of cinematic trailers. So the plan in terms of the
More slashes on the
timeline,
palm. And this
Wanna talk?
time, you
Who's
see the
asking basically
pattern.
what's the timeline
You wonder
post
how you could
Charm?
have missed such an important clue. The slashes were literally the killer's signature. Whoever did this wasn't shy about letting people know. You find a
Up
secure
next is
door
going to be an
lost
adventure
without
pack
a
set in
penotech symbol.
Sharn, accessible,
glance reveals
free to
that every
VIPs, available in the
victim had
DDO
worked for
store
Vaughn.
for
It's
everyone
too
else.
big of a coincidence to
And it's going
overlook,
to take place in
especially since a
Sharn.
note in the
You do
margin
not
talked
need
about
the
cleaning up
expansion in
loose
order
ends.
to
You stoop
access
down
the
to search the
content,
contents of Naram's pack.
and that'll be coming
Looks
next.
like he was fleeing for his life when the murderer got to him.
Additionally, we've got
That
a
ledger told
second
you what you
raid
needed to know.
that is
The
part
victims
of the
all
Sharn
worked for Vaughn
expansion
and were killed because they knew too much
coming.
about his operations
So
down in the
that
cogs.
will be
You strike down
that'll
the
be
last of the
next as
attackers.
well.
You can't let these
That
petty
does
thugs
require,
hold
you
back.
got to have Sharn in
Not
order to
when
play
you're
the
so
Sharn, the second
close to
Sharn
the
raid.
truth.
But that is
The
coming,
secret door
incoming here
slides open,
fairly soon.
revealing a Medusa.
At the very
Oddly
least,
enough,
I'm
she doesn't
pretty
seem
sure we've
surprised
got
to
a
see you.
Lamania
Instead,
preview.
she motions for you to enter.
It's set to happen in the not too distant future. I think for the second raid, we're going for something quite a bit different than perhaps the
You catch
first
up with
Sharn
Zealot
raid,
and
which
fill her in
is
on the
more of a
clues she's found so
challenging,
far.
you know,
She
a deliberate
points you towards an
challenge, I think,
alleyway
to some of
northwest of where the goblin was
DDO's
last seen.
best raiders. I think this one's going to be perhaps a little bit more along the lines of, I mean, I hate to draw comparisons to content. That's usually a bad idea. But I would think something maybe more along the lines of like Old Baba's Hut than Curse of Strahd, so to speak. I think that, you know, that idea for a second raid is probably being carried over. And then after that,
Talking to the residents has given you more insight into life in Cogsgate. A familiar voice
we are indeed
echoes
planning to
from
work
behind
on
the store.
Keep.
What part of make it look like
I
an
think there may be
accident
some
didn't
other
you
stuff
understand?
involved as well.
And
That'll
leaving
be
your
going on.
signature behind was beyond stupid. Now Zelith is onto us. It's only a matter of time before she and those adventurers come barging in here.
Breathe a sigh of relief as the goblin falls. You've sent the murderer to his just reward. But as you turn to confront Zolkis, the goblin suddenly arrives. Shroud. Zolkis quickly casts a dimension door. The tiefling and the goblin disappear through it.
Will there be new monsters in Keep on the Borderlands? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think I've heard yet. Clearly, the introduction of goblins to Sharn here is key to being able to do that for Keep. You know, Keep is not so much kobolds as it is goblins. That's kind of sort of what the deal
Zealot
is
shakes her
with
head.
Keep on the Borderlands.
Sometimes it's a stranger who holds the knife. Sometimes it's family. I let blood cloud my judgment, and I'll pay for that every day. But I'll keep going. I'll move on to the next crime and the next. You can't just stay inside when trouble rains down. Not even if it never stops.
All three is on Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Nice. I did see that, yeah. Can this be played on Android? No. DDO is not a mobile game. Sorry. PC and Mac with a Wine client. It's all nice and updated right now. We are planning to do some additional bug work on it, I know in the relatively near future, for both games. Our engineer is going to be working on that one. Flumps, yep.
This
This adventure, like so many others, begins in a tavern. You're supposed to meet a disgruntled Vault employee here. He'll give you an off-the-record tour of the nearby warehouse. Victor asked you to wait for him outside. Looks like getting inside his warehouse won't be a problem.
Okay, let me call up
Victor
the
leans over
bonuses
and
while I'm
whispers.
waiting here.
I don't want to lose my job. If you'll just follow me, I'll cough when it's time for us to part ways. What you do after that is none of my business.
He sounds quite nervous.
Cool. All right, so the bonus for the week is double commendations of valor. That's one of those things we've not done in a while, but it's a double commendations of valor.
Time for you.
Additionally, VIP players will get an additional 10% XP, and that begins on Thursday, runs through Sunday. Just kind of trying to clear right now.
Someone is burning the midnight oil behind this door, but the sturdy door is fitted with an even sturdier lock. You'll have to find another way in. According to this ledger, all of the blueprints have been moved to the office upstairs for shredding. You need to get in there. You hear a scream of pain from up above. A scream cut short with steel. You hear a gruff voice howling. The roof! The roof! A more measured voice responds. What of it? The excited Noel bounces around.
The roof is on fire!
An otherworldly air of confidence surrounds
Yes,
the
I want a
handsome
pet Odio too.
who appears to be their leader. Let's pick up the pace, shall we?
Have
still
we
to
told
destroy
other
the lab
people
downstairs.
about the bronze
Order,
dragon
please.
plate armor and
Why
Sharn?
not just
I'm
take the
pretty
stairs?
sure that's so
Asked
people are
the
aware of that,
tiefling.
right? I think.
Order!
It's in Sharn, right?
Now! Snaps the being in a commanding tone.
Where am I?
Hear
What
a
am I supposed to be
familiar
doing
voice
something
somewhere
here? What am I
nearby.
supposed to be doing?
It's
Yep.
Victor, acting surprised.
There I am.
Oh, what's all this? Dear Orient, we have a security breach! Quickly, find them! You can't touch me! This is one of Vaught's prototypes! Make me completely invincible!
Victor presses a button, and the sphere of force closes in around him.
Oh!
Whatever documents were stored in the office are
Jeez.
beyond salvaging. Still, there might be something useful down in the lab, or wherever those mercenaries went.
I don't have my chat log set up enough on this world. Huh. Okay. Guess I should pay a bit more attention.
think you're clever, but you're nowhere near as clever as Vaunt. His resources are virtually limitless. I press this button, and more guards show up, just like that.
It's a pretty good doorway to do this fight if you can. On higher difficulties, it's one of the things I've found more successful. Although I still often find myself crawling through to make sure I got.
Stuck here?
Victor clearly didn't think this through.
I have something for you.
Just teleport away.
Victor tried to do just that. It seems Victor forgot about the dimensional anchor he put in place. He's going nowhere.
That's why.
Work, damn you! Work!
Victor mashes the button on the magical device in frustration. Nothing happens.
No way to get. I don't think there is a way to get to this shrine, is there? Am I just being an idiot? Yes. Hey, someone give me a helping hand here. Where am I supposed to be going? Got kind of turned around.
A familiar voice calls out up ahead. Time's up. Your golems will have to finish this. Time to move, people.
There we go. So, yes, Madman Thief, there's no specific requirement that we make people do past lives for a new race, although I think we probably would have a kobold past life, perhaps where we could do a playable kobold race. So, the idea of a playable kobold race is a pretty infamous one in DDO, where we had done a public poll after announcing that we were going to do the kobold race. And a whole bunch of people in the community were like, don't do the kobold race, do something else instead. And Dragonborn ended up winning that particular public vote. And as such has also, been brought into the game. So, does that mean that we'll never do a playable kobold race? No. but it does mean we are well aware that there are some people who would very much like us not to do it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Victor's treachery continues.
Oh, is that a fire? Nobody goes in or out until we find them. Don't just stand there gawking. Move!
Hear the ominous hum of a dimensional Victor directs more guards your way.
I'm sorry, Secular Squirrel. Even if you got rid of, even if I ceased to exist physically, I would still be haunting your dreams. So, can't get rid of me that easy. Yeah. Ah. So the reason I'm running into an assassin skill issue is I often map my second or third most used skill to 5. And for whatever reason, Assassinate has ended up in that position on this character in this server. It should not be. For I push that button just sort of as I'm so trained to hit that button, I'm just constantly falsely hitting Assassinate when I ought to be hitting something else. You'd rather get playable goblins and kobolds? Well, you know, I suppose there's nothing stopping that either.
Perhaps we can make a deal.
Victor presses the button on his form prototype. The magical barrier around him fades away.
All right. Yes, Zero Cool, you know, trying to have global payment systems function as widely as possible is always a business concern. Typically, you know, through kind of our store availability, there's a whole bunch of different methods you can use. Now, it's true that over the years, sometimes, you know, things come and go in terms of what's available. So... always trying to make it as easy as possible. Alright, I think that's probably going to wrap it up for the questing today. So, Dusty, the new low-level alternative to Korthos, that's sort of the shorthand that the community has picked up on. It is not a new starter area. You will still end up on the beach and all that when you reincarnate. This is a low-level questing option, is probably the terminology I would prefer to use. And the goal is to get it out probably, let's just say, late-ish this year. Nice. All right, cool. So, in just a minute here, Sam is going to be taking over. He'll carry you through the afternoon. You can find the full schedule of DDO streaming over on twitch.tv/DDO stream. Programming note, I will be disappearing for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be kind of on the road doing some various things. I'll be in and out of the office, and I will not be available to do the next 2 Wednesdays for the show. So, when I return, I think it'll be July, right? Something like that, July 3rd. Anyway, I'll see you then. It'll be on Orion. Otherwise, hope you have a good couple of weeks. Thanks very much for being here, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Oh, and I will get you folks a code in the in-game mail later on today. And thanks very much for watching. See you.